From the author. This fictional novel is based on the true story of Charlotte Darky Parkhurst, also known as One-Eyed Charlie, Cock-Eyed Charlie, and Six-Horse Charlie. Following is a synopsis of her life derived from research. She was born in some part of New Hampshire in 1812 and lived in an orphanage or poorhouse. She went to Worcester, Massachusetts, where she worked as a stable boy in Ebenezer Balch's stables, and remained there until Mr. Balch moved his business to Providence, Rhode Island. There she continued to work for him at What Cheer Stables, at that time located in the rear of the Franklin House Inn. Considered an expert stage driver, she worked for Mr. Balch for a number of years. For a brief period, she left for Atlanta and then returned to Providence and worked in several other stables. About 1849, James E. Birch and Frank Stevens went to California, and a few years later consolidated several small stage lines into the California Stage Company. They recruited Charlie to work for them. Shortly after arriving in California, Charlotte lost the use of one eye from a horse kick to the face. Still posing as a male by the 1860s, she was a noted whip or Jehu, a biblical term referring to a charioteer of the time. Charlotte retired from driving at a ranch near Watsonville, California. Her name, Charles Darky Parkhurst, is listed in the Santa Cruz Sentinel on October 17, 1868, under the official poll list, containing the names and enrollment for all persons resident in the various precincts in the county of Santa Cruz, state of California, registered up to October 4, 1868, and entitled to vote at the presidential election. Some historians think that Charlotte first voted on November 3, 1868, at Tom Mann's Hotel in downtown Soquel, California, where the Soquel Fire Station now stands. After Charlie's death, it was discovered that she was a woman. Deeds and records confirmed that Charlotte, disguised as Charles Parkhurst, owned property in Watsonville. Charlotte's cabin was near the 7 Mile House, a former stagecoach stop and hotel. This way station for travelers on the Santa Cruz to Watsonville stage line was located on a road that was later named Freedom Boulevard. Charlotte also registered to vote in Santa Cruz County 52 years before any woman would be allowed to vote in federal elections in the United States. In 1955, the Pajaro Valley Historical Association marked her grave with a monument that reads, Charlie Darky Parkhurst, 1812 to 1879. Noted whip of the Gold Rush days, drove stage over Mount Madonna in early days of Valley. Last run, San Juan to Santa Cruz. Death in cabin near the 7 Mile House revealed One-Eyed Charlie, a woman, the first to vote in the U.S. November 3, 1868. I have tried to keep the storyline close to her real life, but for the purposes of the novel, I sometimes had to take creative license. For instance, in actuality, Charlotte Parkhurst was born in 1812 and would have been 55 years old when she voted. I moved the time frame of the story to the mid-1800s and spanned fewer years of her life in consideration for young readers. We will never really know Charlotte's motives for choosing to live her life the way she did. Possibly she did what she had to do to survive during a time when there were very few opportunities for young women. I suspect that she stumbled upon the chance to become a stage driver, that she was good at it, and that it gave her personal freedoms that she would have never experienced as a girl. That freedom would have been very hard for anyone to give up once they had experienced it. In the words of her obituary, who shall longer say that a woman cannot labor and vote like a man?